Hey, influencers, good day. Wherever you are in the world, good day to you. Listen, welcome to Behind the Screen Business Confessions with your girl, Anika Cohen. It's another episode with real, raw conversations to motivate and support leaders to propel forward in their journey in entrepreneurship. So, I'm excited to serve you. I'm excited to support you. I'm excited to be your advocate, to talk about the challenges, the barriers behind the screen when we say yes to something that is bigger and greater than ourselves, and how we can get stuck if we allow ourselves to entertain the doubt, the embarrassment, things that happen in our daily lives can show up in our business if we don't check in, if we don't do the work. And I believe that everybody needs somebody, even that strong person like you, that strong woman, that strong man. Everybody leans on you for answers. Everybody comes to you for guidance. And it's okay that you sometimes put yourself on the calendar. I think it's necessary. I think that you owe yourself that responsibility, that time to unwind, to heal, to release. Come on here, what's not serving you or the purpose called upon your life. And so, yes, I'm here to talk about it. I'm here to shed a light on those conversations that we don't necessarily have openly. I'm here to create that space, that platform to have the conversation about your journey, the good, bad, and everything in between. Come on here, somebody. So listen, if you are new to the show, hello and welcome. Go ahead and subscribe. Let me know who you are around the world. I love connecting with new leaders around the world. I am your business strategist coach. I help you to start, build, and grow your business with clarity and confidence and strategy. Come on here, somebody. So you're not alone. All right. We're all in this journey of saying yes that to a bigger assignment, something that is greater than ourselves. And it's no small task. It's no small task. So y'all hear me say that often. Those of you who are consistent listeners in the show, you hear me say that often because it's true. You know, we all need someone. And so let's talk about our conversation on today. What is the conversation? We talking about how to handle how to handle business rejection like a pro. I'm here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about how rejection can show up in your business if it's unresolved, if it's undealt with within your core, within your being of who you are. And so, yes, rejection is a part of life. As a counselor, as someone who serves in the community daily with individuals with their mental health or with substance abuse, right? With trauma, rejection is a part of life. No one is exempt. Everyone will experience being rejected. And so how we respond and how we handle that rejection is how we determine our well-being. And so I want to talk about that because how you handle business rejection is how you handle rejection in your daily life. Okay. How about the rejection that is still unresolved? How are you handling that? How are you checking in with that? How are you healing and maintaining that healing? Come on here, somebody, because if you don't do the work, if you don't handle the rejection, it's going to show up in your business. And I want to talk about how it can show up in your business, what it actually looks like for rejection to show up in your business. We know that rejection is a part of life, right? We're all going to experience at some level. Okay. You're all going to experience being not accepted, not approved, not validated. Come on here, somebody. So that's what being rejected is defined by not giving approval or acceptance. So for that person who did not accept you, did not approve of you, did not validate what it is that you are called to do, who you are, yes, they rejected you. And so that's going to show up if it's unresolved in your business. And let's talk about how you can handle that rejection, because rejection only comes in by the action of feeling rejection. Rejected. Hello. So you can only be rejected when you have been rejected. Does that make sense? I don't think you understand that. That means everybody, the pastor, the counselor, whoever you admire, we've all experienced being rejected, not being validated, not being approved, not being accepted. So let's talk about how this will show up in your business if you don't handle it, if you don't check in. Okay. So before we can even talk about just rejection, let's talk about the types of rejection. Okay. So you can get a better understanding of how this may be hindering your growth in life, not just what you've been called to do, but in life. It will cause you to become stuck. It will cause you to become complacent if it is unresolved. And so the first form of rejection is personal or social. Okay. This type includes experiences like being excluded from a social group, rejected by friends, or face unreciprocated feelings in romantic relationships. It can lead to feelings of loneliness and hurt. Come on here, somebody. So therefore, it can show up in your business relationships. Those of you who struggle with maintaining healthy boundaries, those of you who struggle with communication, listening, having empathy, right? Your ego and your pride. Listen, rejection is going to show up. So you got to clean it up. Because if you've been rejected personally or socially, I'm here to tell you that I've been rejected by both of these categories. When they talk about personally and socially, I've been not approved, not accepted, not validated. I was told that you will never make it in the empowerment world, Anika, if you continue to show up in the light that you are. Verbatim, she told me that I was too churchy. She told me that I would not make it in the empowerment world because of that fact that I was too churchy, and I would need to dim that down in order to be successful in the speaking realm, in the empowerment industry. Those were her exact words. And for a moment, that moment was weeks. That moment was a couple of months that I struggled, and I went back and forth within myself to say, am I called? Am I really called to do this? Do I have to change? And I began to actually ponder those thoughts. I entertained it. For too long, I stayed there, and I began to what? Self-doubt. I began to question the very assignment that God has called me to. Because I never said, oh, I want to be a speaker growing up. I never said that I want to impact lives. I never said that I want to be a best-selling author. This journey of my life was all God led. So I was trusting and leaning on my faith, trusting and leaning on the voice that was leading me and guiding me to do something greater than I ever expected. So to hear those words was devastating. To hear those words, it almost crippled me, meaning paralyzed me. And I allowed her opinion. I allowed her opinion to almost cause me to miss out on opportunity. I would not be in this position today had I listened to her words. Rejected. I was not approved. I was not validated. I was not accepted for being Anika. So I want you to understand how simple it is to entertain someone else's opinion of you and what you should be doing in the marketplace, because it doesn't look like their journey. It doesn't look like what they think it should look like. That's when we got to check in. That's when we got to do the work to say, no, I choose to live. I choose to be liberated, improve daily, be vivacious and enlightened. And so I had to begin to lean on my words to comfort me, to redirect me. I had to lean on my support to say, have the conversation. And thank God for real support. Thank God for real friends, people that will not allow you to entertain negativity, that is presented to you. So I had a choice and I chose to live. I chose to proceed and propel forward because this is the assignment that God has called me to do, right? I've been rejected personally in relationships, with friendships. Here's the thing, I can talk from my own experience. I like to refer to myself as I am likable, but I'm misunderstood often. I'm likable, but I'm misunderstood due to personality, due to my character, due to my assertiveness, sometimes aggressiveness, my truthfulness, but I'm also empathetic. And sometimes that can be misinterpreted, right? So when you have awareness, when you are to actually be aware of who you are and how you can be misunderstood, and it's okay. I accept that. But I'm not looking for you to validate me and say what I'm doing and how I'm doing it is right or wrong. I'm not looking for you to approve and say, yes, Anika, go. And that's where we get caught up because now we're seeking that validation and approval. You don't need anyone's validation. God's validation is enough for you to carry out the assignment. So the first form of rejection that can show up in your business if it is not handled, come on here, somebody, is personal and social rejection. All right. Number two, let's talk about professional rejection. Okay, you are saying yes to an assignment that is greater than you. You said yes to this business venture. You said yes to this idea. Right now you're here, or you're thinking about showing up as an entrepreneur and carrying out the assignment that God has called you to do, right? Professional rejection, hello, shows up. It shows up. And so this often occurs during job applications, interviews, or performance reviews, right? Come on here, somebody. You're looking for that promotion. You're looking to be elevated on your job, in your career, right? You're thinking about taking the next steps, or you're thinking about signing up for your degree. You're thinking about signing up for your doctorate program, right? But then rejection can show up. You can be denied the application. You can be denied access, right? Funding, financing, budget. And I'll go even deeper to talk about when in my career as a professional, licensed, clinical social worker. Come on here, somebody. I'm super excited about that accomplishment because it took a while to get there, right? Talk about perseverance. And so during my journey as a professional, I've been rejected. I've been told no. I don't think you qualify. I don't think you are capable of the job responsibilities. I was literally terminated from my job for losing a mobile device. But when I checked in and really reflected on that entire situation, that was more about intimidation and insecurity within my boss, my superior. And so, what I'm here to tell you is that sometimes your superiors in your career, in your profession, will see the destiny upon your life. They will see the purpose that's on your life and will be intimidated if they are not acting in that function that they desire. Sometimes people can see the greatness within us that we don't see in ourselves. And so, yes, humble beginnings for me because all I wanted to do was learn. All I wanted to do was be better and do better because I am from poverty environment, growing up in the hood, growing up watching drug dealers, exposed to that type of environment. So it's toxic, it's unhealthy. And so I always had to challenge myself to say that I deserve to be here. I deserve to be in this space. I deserve to be here. I worked hard to get my degree. I worked hard to maintain my ethics and my morals, right? And so to have this superior, my boss, constantly nitpicking and antagonizing me, I wanted to clap back. Come on here. I wanted to, you know, give her the same energy she was giving me, but I had to learn to be quiet. I had to learn to be silent. And in my silence was power, because I did not allow her to control me in any way. Oh, but was it challenging? But it growed me. It growed me because I had to learn that although you don't think I deserve to be here, I deserve to be here. So she fired me. I got fired for losing the mobile device. Yes, I did. And I left gracefully. And I did not, still didn't give a response. I left gracefully. And I ended up getting another position that I did not have the credentials to receive. Come on here, somebody. Look at God. When you can channel into an emotion of not anger, not wanting to get back or prove you wrong. No, I'm gonna bow out gracefully. I'm going to go in silence because my silence is my power. That's what I learned from that experience, because it would have been very easy for Anika to give her the same energy she was giving me. It would have been very easy for me to go there. I chose not to. So no, in your response is a blessing if you respond in the way that God wants you to. So I had to humble myself, let go of my ego and let go of my pride, and humble myself. And in that, I was blessed. Yes, terminated, but came out with a better position that I did not even have the credentials at that time. Talk about God. So this is another form of rejection that can show up in your business if it's unmet. Think about the relationships that you will encounter. Think about the networking and the collaboration. It can show up in those moments, right? Because you'll go back to that moment. You'll go back to that trauma of when you was told no, when you were denied, when you were not accepted. You'll go back to that very experience. And so I choose not to go back to that experience unless it's from the learning curve that I deserve to be here. She didn't think I deserved to be there, but God transitioned me into a greater position, making more funds that I didn't even have the credentials for. So God is good. So number one, personal or social rejection can show up in your business. Professional rejection can show up in your business. Number three, creative rejection, your ideas, your creativity, your innovation. How many of you have been denied your creativity, your innovation, your ideas, what you've been called to do, right? Oh, that's not going to work. That's not going to be accepted. People are going to make fun of you. That could be the inner critic within you that you have to combat. That can be the inner critic with you that you have to say, the devil is a liar. Okay, come on here, right? So creative rejections for those of you who are artists, who are writers, who are creators, right? Content creators, right? Your vision is valuable. Even when people don't see it, even when they don't accept it, still choose to show up and say yes, because God gave you the idea. And here's the thing, there's nothing new under the sun. For those of you who are even scared to step out and share your idea, to link arms with maybe a business coach, a business advisor, someone that can give you the steps to work out your idea without the hustle and the bustle, without the faking it till you make it. But because there's been a bad experience, you won't take that leap because someone's going to steal your idea. There's nothing new under the sun. Nothing you do is new. Nothing is new under the sun. God has given us all the ability to have purpose, right? He's given us all that ability to have purpose. And so what makes it different is you, your character, your personality, your budget. Come on here, somebody, your results, that interaction. So that's what will always set you apart from your competitors. So yes, your self-expression matters. Your creativity matters. Your knowledge, it matters. Show up anyway, even though you've been denied. Pursue that idea. Give yourself the opportunity to see what you can do, because you don't know what you can do until you do it. I had no idea that I would become a best-selling author. I had no idea that I would become a business strategist coach, right? I had no idea that I would be positioned to travel all across the world, speaking on stages, empowering people with my story, being authentically me. I had no idea, because where I came from, I didn't think I was deserving. But God had to show me that I am deserving. I do deserve to be here. And so you have to remind yourself of what you have come from and overcame. See, people may not know the struggle. They may not know what it took for you to get in that position, but you do. So you owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself to show up, even when it gets challenging, even when you don't feel like it. You owe it to yourself. Number 4, academic rejection. Okay. Academic rejection is real, because you're wanting to do more. You're wanting to be better and do better in this world. And here's the thing. This is not just about business. This is about your life. So you have to know how to self-regulate your emotions, your thoughts, because that's how you show up with your behaviors. It all starts in your mind. What you think is what it will be. So academic rejection. Students may face rejection when applying to schools or programs, grants, scholarships, right? Receiving lower grades or not being accepted. Those are real moments. Have your moment, but don't stay there. Okay. Right. Choose to invest in yourself in whatever it is that you have to do. If you have to hire a mentor, a coach, or a tutor, do it. Right. Don't compare to your friends. Don't compare to your peers. We all have our journey. We all have our journey. Number 5, family rejection. Oh, this is a big one. Okay. This is another type of rejection that can show up in your business when it's unresolved. And particularly when we're talking about interaction with your clients or potential clients. Okay. Because here's the thing, for those of us who are coaches, who are authors, who are speakers, we're going to be working with people. All right. And so working with people, even as a counselor, all right, my day-to-day career, okay, working with people, what I found to be true is everyone has personality and character. And so I have to be willing to meet people where they are. All right. And that can be challenging in itself. You can't match energy. You have to operate from integrity. You have to operate from a higher functioning, right? Sometimes we have to be the model, because we are working with people at sometimes a poverty mindset. People don't know what they don't know. I didn't always have this type of vocabulary. I didn't always speak in this manner. I didn't always even think in this manner that I do today. This is a growth mindset that has evolved over time. Okay. With practice, with discipline. Okay. Me actually being conscious and being aware of how I show up and how I want to show up. Come on here, somebody. So talk about family rejection is talking about creating new patterns, new habits that are helpful and healthy to you. Sometimes we got to disrupt the dysfunction and chaos that we were exposed to as children. Come on here, somebody. Listen, sometimes we have to begin to have a new way of thinking so we can disrupt the old patterns, the old habits, the old ways of thinking. Those generational curses have to be broken. That poverty mindset has to be broken. So there has to be a level of accountability that we are able to inquire about ourselves, because it starts with us. So family rejection, woohoo! This can occur when family members do not support or accept certain life choices, beliefs, or lifestyles. It can lead to significant emotional intelligence, distress, okay, and feelings of abandonment. So your daddy issue, your mommy issue, it can show up in your business with your engagement with your audience, with potential clients. It can show up. I'm going to share with you an example of how it can show up. Okay. This is when I first got started in business and I was hosting a conference. So I did not have no refunds disclaimer anywhere on the site or anywhere where they would get their ticket confirmation. It was not stated that this no refunds would be initiated. So someone decided not to partake in the conference due to an upcoming emergency. So I didn't have the disclaimer. The lady reached out to me and she was like, I would like my money back because I cannot, um, I no longer can attend the conference. She explained her emergency. And I was like, I'm sorry, there's no refunds. And she was like, well, it's not stated on your website. It's not stated on your confirmation. It's not stated anywhere that there's no refunds. And that immediately, if you know me, you know me. Okay. That set me off. I was upset. Now, how can I be upset that I didn't convey clearly that there was no refunds with ticket admissions? I had to check in. So I had to give her that refund. I had to give her that refund. Okay. Here's the thing. I have a alpha personality. All right. So I had to work on that because I'm the oldest in my family. I'm the oldest of six. So I'm always the one that's in that authoritative position, delegating, overseeing, all of those things. Okay. Was my responsibility as a child growing up. So I had to learn when to check the ego. Okay. I had to learn when people, also a big learning curve for me was when people again may not wanted to do business, right? I took it personally. You're telling me no because you don't want the service or you're not able to opt in. I was taking it personal. Mm, mm, mm. Rejection. So that's how it started showing up in my business. No, when you are told no or not at this time, I am unavailable, whether you're reaching out to potential speakers to be a part of your event. Listen, it can show up. You will take it personal, the word no, because that's you not being accepted. That's not you being approved. You got to check in. That's a big one. So if they're not telling you no, they're saying, I don't want what you're offering me at this time. And it's okay. It's part of business. They're not saying, Anika, I don't like you, or Anika, I can't stand you. Like, no, I was making it about me. Internalization. Y'all need to look up that word. That's a big one. We start to internalize and make it about ourselves when it had nothing to do with the business in itself, the offer, the product, the services, right? So you got to check in and you got to do the work to make sure that you handle the rejection like a pro. Okay. Instead of internalizing, self sabotaging, and becoming irrational. All right. Last but not least, is that self rejection. That is another form of rejection, the self rejection. Listen, love yourself. Yeah, I'm speaking from that place. I didn't love myself at one point. I didn't love Anika. I didn't know who Anika was. I didn't know what she was called to do in this world. I didn't know the value of my voice because I had been in and out of domestic violence relationships, physical violent relationships, right? I've been exposed to a different lifestyle. And It caused me to self-reject. I have that. I grew up without a father, my biological father. So that was rejection from the womb. How many of you can relate to that? Rejection from the womb. You already not accepted, not approved by the one who gave you life, who created you. And so that's something that I carried within my marriage, the daddy issue. So we have to clean that up, the mommy issue. We got to clean that up. Not belonging, the love and belonging. Again, we got to clean that up. And so I'm going to talk about how we can clean these things up in our next episode. Just healthy boundaries in the marketplace. This will help us to not entertain the rejection that shows up in our life, in our business. We can be able to respond in a healthier manner that produces productivity, that produces healing and deliverance, that produces your growth in your mindset. Come on here, somebody. So how to handle business rejection like a pro? Yes, we're going to talk about that. But we have to first have the dialogue about the forms of rejection and how it can look in your life. So let's recap the forms of rejection. Okay. The forms of rejection are personal, social, number one. Number two, professional. Number three, creative. Number four, academic. Number five, family. And number six, self rejection. These are 6 forms of rejection that can impact you emotionally in your business. Absolutely. So we have to first understand these different types of rejection and how does it show up for you? How is it showing up for you? What form of rejection is showing up in your business that you have not yet dealt with, that you have not checked in, that you're not doing the work on? Because remember, we can be healed, we can be delivered, but it has to be nurtured. We have to check in with that. We have to do the work necessary to maintain that healing and deliverance. So how does it show up for you? And so join me on part 2, where we're now going to talk about the coping skills, the actual coping skills and behaviors that we can utilize to control the narrative, to be more conscious and aware, right? To grow. Come on here and choose to live. All right. So thank you for being a part of the conversation on tonight. I look forward to your comments or questions, right? And if you want support on your journey, you're looking for that accountability, you're looking for that check-in, you want to begin to do the work, I am your business strategist coach / counselor / therapist, right? Whatever you need me to be, I am licensed, okay? In the state of Delaware. So I can serve you, I can support you on your journey. Until next time, influencers, I want you to what? Choose to live, choose to be liberated, improve daily, be vivacious and enlightened. Until next time.